Welcome back to Mama's House. I'm YoYo-Iziah.
And I'm Nikki Fuego, Beach.
This episode is going to be a little bit different because it is Mental Health Month as we're recording this, and getting to know yourself is so important. That includes your sexual side as well. So we decided to take the plunge and step outside of our comfort zone and take a B.D.S.M quiz, which stands for Bondage, Discipline, Sadomasochism, in case y'all are wondering.
Ooh, that's a lot of syllables, girl.
Okay. Before we get into like specific questions, let's talk about our general experience taking the test.
Yes.
Nikki, how did you feel overall before, during, and after? But just give us like the bite-sized version.
Yeah. So when you told me about this, I got really, really nervous because I don't know. I don't talk a lot about my personal sex life. I talk about sex, but just not my personal sex life. And so I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to do it. Get out of my comfort zone. And then during the test, girl, I was sweating.
Okay.
I was like, I've never been so uncomfortable in my life.
I'm saying.
It bring me back to Grindr messages too. And then afterwards, I was gagged. Like I couldn't believe the results, and it's a little scary.
Oh, really? You had to
Yes.
say results? Oh, I can't.
Yeah, because I just wasn't expecting that to come out like that. I don't know. Now I'm blushing.
Ooh, I'm excited to see.
It's so weird.
So for me, I was in a streamer's chat and he was talking about BDSM and he's in like a poly relationship and all that. It piqued my interest because I'm always down to learn about other people's lifestyles that's different from mine.
For sure.
So I was like, oh, this would be perfect for the podcast. I was really curious going into it, but then as soon as I started taking the test and the first question triggered me and I feel uncomfortable now.
Yep.
And then my hyper analytical self started going deeper into it. And I was like, wait, these questions relate to a lot of other people that are into this.
Yep.
And then I was like, wait, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. No, wait.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah, this is triggering.
It's so much.
But I sucked it up and I got through it. One category really like threw me off. But for the most part, I felt like it was pretty on brand with who I am.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to push that envelope. So I did something outside of my comfort zone.
Oh.
Which we will get into a little later.
Uh-oh. Yo throwing the tease, bitch.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Did any questions stick out to you?
2 through 100.
I love that.
I had a hard time really answering all of them, to be honest. And it took me a good minute to take the test. Like, there wasn't that many questions, but it was the time taking to answer each one of those questions because I had to play the scenario out in my mind. And because a lot of these questions, I'd never been in this position, a few of them not willingly at least. And so it was bringing all those emotions back, and really anything that had to do with tying down, like me being tied down or me being restrained or whatever, or surprised, if you will, was all triggering. And I was surprised because I thought I was going to be able to handle a little bit better, but I didn't. Like I said, I was sweating starting question 2.
Can you get a little deeper for us? Get a little vulnerable? Like what were you feeling? Like what were the emotions? Like how did you work through it, getting through those questions?
So just to put some context, growing up was very hard, and there was some I got taken advantage of basically as a child. And so there's always been that back of mind stuff whenever sex arises, whether it's like normal play or anytime kinky stuff come around.
Right.
And so for me, it's an immediate like surge of emotions, and they're all negative emotions. And I like go into like self-defense mode. And there was actually an incident that got triggered again that happened in California where there was a guy who I was having sex with, and you know, it's always important to go into these things with safe words, no matter what.
Right.
And so I had a safe word and I was saying it and he wasn't stopping. And so then that started triggering that it was happening again. And so that was resurfaced on a lot of these questions. It's good though, because like I had to keep reminding myself I'm learning what I don't like and what I'm not comfortable with. And this is the whole point of the exercise, is to get to know myself.
Exactly.
So I just had to constantly remind myself that. And then I was fine. I was still sweating, but I was fine.
Yeah, okay, good. I mean, not the situation that you went through being good, but the fact that you're able to understand, like, we're doing this so that we can understand ourselves better.
Right.
And with this being Mental Health Month, it relates to self-realization. We have to understand our own unique talents, abilities, our boundaries, our coping strategies, so that we realize who we are. So as we move into the world, into relationships, sexual relationships, romantic friendships, all of those things, you know what you need to have a mentally fit mind.
Yep.
And this test, even though it pushed those fucking buttons, it came out on the other side knowing that if I get into a sexual situation with somebody and they're like, hey, I want to tie you down, I'm going to be like, hell no.
Right. Exactly. Same.
Like no, like and if they say why, you can actually explain to them, and that's
Yeah.
effective communication,
Yeah. Right.
especially in a relationship.
I feel like a few years ago I wouldn't have been able to recognize it just because I didn't know myself as much as I know myself now. And it's
Right.
good to know these things because like if you are looking for a partner, you got to know what you're into and what you're not into. And because if you go into things without any research like this, like if I really wanted to go to like a BDSM dungeon or something and I didn't take this test, I'd be like fucked.
Yeah,
And not
you'd
in
be
like the sexual way.
shocked.
Like I would be like,
Okay.
I would be gone because I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know what's comfortable with me, and I would probably get myself into some dangerous situations again. It also made me realize that the 32 men I've been with, all the reasons why it didn't work out.
Okay.
So it was
I'm
a whole
gonna-
basket of learning.
I'm gonna actually create a short for this episode. I'm gonna do a story time about my first time accidentally going to a sex party.
Oh, accidentally.
Accidentally, it was my 21st birthday.
Oh, hell no.
So everybody check out our YouTube channel and our TikTok. So I'm gonna do a short video and tell that story because it's fucking insane and weird.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
But you saying like you walking into like if you went to a BDSM party and walked
Right.
in, I felt you
Yeah,
on a personal level.
Yeah. That's why I haven't been to any like group play or anything like that because you just never fucking know.
Yeah, I have learned from taking this test that sex is not important to me. I'm
Interesting.
probably asexual, to be honest.
Interesting. I wondered about that when I was reading some of these questions. I'm like, man, I wonder how he's going to answer these.
Yeah. Because it's not about the actual sex for me or what you can add to the sex to make it more intense. It's
Yeah.
about my connection to you. The stronger connection I have to you, the more I feel safe, the more I feel secure, the more I'm open to almost all possibilities. It's
Sure.
because there's a understanding between us on a deeper level that's not just body parts or
Right.
just chemistry, you know? Oh, it is
Right.
chemistry, but on a higher level.
Right.
So when I was taking this test, I did it two ways. If I answered it straight how I feel now, a lot of them would have been no's, like
Right.
absolutely not. But then I thought about it. What if I was in a relationship with somebody that I connected with on that level that I'm talking about? Then
Yeah.
I was like, then a lot of these things open up, to be honest.
Yep. It's
Because
like a key.
Yeah,
Pandora's
exactly.
box.
Because not no random person's not going to tie me down because you know that could go anywhere wrong
Right.
quickly.
Everywhere
But-
wrong.
Yeah. But somebody who I trust wholeheartedly and we have that connection and we've built that over time, yeah, you can tie me up because I know you're going to take care of me.
Right. See, I wish my brain worked like that, bitch.
Baby, you know this is my month.
I am so physical. It's not even funny. Like, I hate how physical it is. But there is an aspect to the mind. Like, I won't sleep with just anybody. Well, maybe right now, but usually I won't just sleep with anybody. Usually I have to have some sort of connection, and then, like, attraction is, like, right there fighting for attention.
Right, okay, I see.
It's a constant battle.
I think it's just like, you know, that past trauma. Me and my sister
Yep.
were talking about this yesterday, and I have abandonment issues. I have hardcore abandonment issues, and having sex with somebody and then maybe potentially feeling that stronger connection and then never talking to them ever again, like terrifies the fuck out of me.
Mood. Big mood.
Like the questions that really triggered me, it's generational trauma, it's personal trauma, it's just the whole idealistic thing of it was slaves. It was like, I would like to serve in a formal setting with explicit slave training, prescribed physical positions and rituals, etc.
Yep.
And the one that really pushed over the edge was I would be comfortable being used only for sex and detached from the world with no human interaction at all. And those two questions like really sent me for a loop because I'm I'm a connection type person.
Yes.
And like internalizing the idea of somebody just using me as a body,
Right.
like sent me to hell. Like
Yep. Same.
straight to hell.
Same.
No.
Yeah. Nope.
And then
Because that's not to interrupt you, but
No, you
like
go
that's
ahead.
exactly how I felt with all those emotions from being a kid and taken advantage of. Being 8 years old and having that happen, that's exactly what it felt like. But I just didn't know how to express that as an 8-year-old. But looking back on it now, it's like, holy shit. If you want to deprive somebody of a complete soul, that's the way to do it.
right. And it's so sad.
It is sad.
Oof. I'm like getting jittery.
Yeah. And I think about the people who are into that and who do prefer that. And not to be judgmental, but like the first thing that comes to my mind, honestly, is like, are they okay?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound okay on any spectrum. There has to be a limit to some of these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
But
And So that's a good question to put out into the air then. If there's anybody who like, and this is a no judgmental zone, we are exploring all these areas so that we can understand more. But I truly want to understand if you're the type of person who could be detached from the world, locked in a cage, and only used as a body for sex, what pleasure do you get out of that?
How do you
Dig a
experience that?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Give us a little bit more because I'm completely in the dark here.
yeah, mind blown. And that's how I felt about a lot of these questions.
Okay.
I'm so vanilla, bitch.
Yeah, we'll get the results.
Yeah.
The only other question that I really was like, I might be asexual was I don't need physical pleasure from sex. If my partner is enjoying it, that's all I need.
Interesting.
It really made me think because honestly, sex is not a huge part for me,
Right.
but I really enjoy the connectedness of a strong bond and having someone to be there for and to be there for me.
Right.
So if that part is strong, then the sex is usually always good.
Interesting. Okay. Come on, perspective.
Okay.
Learning here, bitch.
So before we move on to our next section, is there any other questions that you want to highlight?
I'm trying to think of something that I haven't already said because, like I said, a lot of them were triggering the same thing over and over, and it's because like the incident in California was just a few years ago, so that's pretty fresh still to me. So it's like a compounding of triggers, but I don't know. I think me being able to even complete the test was a feat, just because like usually I wouldn't be able to complete something like that. I'd just like click out of it and be done and not process it. But I don't know. It was really therapeutic in a way. As scary as the questions were and the results are, it was therapeutic as fuck.
All right, so that was the question section of us just highlighting a few specific questions that brought some sort of reaction. If you would like to take the test yourself, the link will be in the bio of our YouTube channel, Mama's House Podcast.
Amen.
Because this is supposed to be us stepping outside of our comfort zone, I decided to give the dating apps a little bit of what I hate about them. So I hate receiving nude pictures unsolicited. I don't really like that whole kind of e-sex vibe or give me your Snapchat and now we're snapping back and forth. So I did it for a week.
Oh, a whole week. Damn.
So I was talking to two people and they kind of came off like nice at first, but was still kind of aggressive towards they just wanted a dick pic or show me your ass, talk on Snapchat, that kind of thing. Yeah. And at first I was going to react like I normally do and say, read my bio, or that's not what I'm here for, or I'm not really into that. And then if they continue, I would block them. But this time around, I was like, sure, here's my Snapchat.
Girl, get it.
And I took some pictures. I took some nude pictures. I took some like more artistic style pictures.
Okay, ma'am.
Fog on the mirror.
There was one you showed me, that towel photo, girl.
Yeah, the towel photo.
Girl. If that ain't a Grindr profile pic, I don't know what is.
I'm saying. At first, it was exhilarating. It was exciting. And then they started wanting more. Oh, yeah. Send me a video of you jerking off. Send me you like with
send a whole pic.
Yeah, with a come on your fingers or do this or blah blah. And then people started like demanding me to do things.
Yep.
And I immediately was like, okay, now I feel really uncomfortable and I feel like I'm being used.
100%.
But I pushed through. I didn't do a lot of the things they said. I said, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that because of course that's setting your boundaries.
Right.
Like and then, of course, the conversations got weird, and I ended up just blocking them on the platform I met them on and on Snapchat and deleted them and just moved on.
It's because it turns into like a one-on-one porn session.
Yeah, and I was like, this is not – I don't operate like that.
Sometimes I do, but sometimes I'm over it.
Okay.
23 pics in, I'm like, okay, can we just get to it?
I feel that. My brain just doesn't operate like that. It was like it was just sex, and that doesn't – stimulate me without a connection.
Yeah.
But I did do it, and would I do it again? No. Did I experience
Interesting.
it? Yes.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool to know though that you actually did it for a week and like aren't about it.
Yeah.
Because most people who do it for a week are usually stuck and like do it forever.
Because I just at the end of the day, I have to be comfortable with me first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I don't feel comfortable exploiting my body, and that's what it feels like to me. So like to everybody else that does it, like it's your own personal experience.
Sure.
But for me, it feels like I'm exploiting my body. It feels like I'm giving pieces of me away and not replacing them with anything meaningful. And when that happens, I see my mental health just start to tank.
Yep.
So it was better to try it, understand I didn't like it, and now I have that boundary. Of course, in a relationship, I send nude pics all the time because
Sure.
you already see my body,
Right,
and
right.
we've already connected in that way. But
Yeah.
outside of a relationship, you're just a random stranger.
Of the 7 billion out there's a lot of people out there, bitch.
Well, that's that.
That's inspiring because now I feel like I need to do a week of not sending nudes and shit. Like, it's been a while since I've done that. It's been way longer than a week. But I'm just saying, like, going on a dating app for a week and not doing that kind of stuff. I might take you up on that challenge.
Yeah, because there's other aspects to learn about other people and just seeing what people are really about. The person who wants to have a conversation with you and that wants to know a little bit more about you, you give them nuggets and they pick up on it. Like, hey, what are you doing? I'm working on some art projects. Oh, you do art? And then they dive into it. Versus the person like, what are you doing? Working on some art projects. Oh, cool. Let me see your hole.
Yeah. Would ever do such a thing?
I don't know. But this is the beauty of perspective.
Yeah.
Me and you are clearly very different on this plane, but it doesn't make us any less of best friends. Or it doesn't make us any less of understanding each other.
If anything, I feel like it brings us closer because we know each other more.
Bam.
And we know that each other knows themselves more.
No, what we've all been waiting for. I'll let you bring this one in, Miss Nikki.
So we're going to go over these results, and I am very gagged at the top result because I feel a little gross. But 90% voyeur.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, real interesting.
Let the audience know what a voyeur is.
A voyeur is somebody who likes to watch others have sex and not necessarily participate. I feel like that is just attributed to growing up with porn, because I didn't come out till I was 25. So any kind of like gay sexual experience was all porn related. I feel like a lot of those tendencies are like ingrained in me forever. Because there was a couple questions on there about voyeuring, and I don't mind watching people have sex, but I wouldn't participate if I was watching somebody have sex, if that makes sense. Which I was surprised at myself because I was like, I'm a very sexual person. Like, I feel like I would jump in on all that, but...
So you like scenarioed in your head in the heat of the moment, if you were watching two people have sex and they like said, come join us?
Yeah.
You would be like,
I don't think I would, no.
But you'd stay and watch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because I'm a curious bitch.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Voyeur is my it's my fourth.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So not far off.
Yeah, 55%, bitch.
Oh wow. Okay, so a little far off.
I thought about porn. Porn is watching people have sex.
Yep,
and then
100%.
And I've been to this sex party that I'll talk about on shorts. It's interesting because I don't have that same sexual vigor.
Right.
So seeing other people really going in, and you know, I love passion. Like, that's my thing.
Yeah,
so I would totally watch people just like fuck it all day.
Right.
Like,
same. Like those pride festivals and shit. I just want to go to watch.
Yeah. But I don't think I get turned on by it. That's the only thing.
Oh, can't relate.
Okay, so voyeur was your top one.
Yep. And then number 2 at 87%, so pretty close, was switch.
Huh.
That doesn't super surprise me because I consider myself, I can be in control. I don't like to say dominant because dominant just has a negative connotation in my mind, but I like to be in control, but I also like to give up control, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the third one, which I was laughing so hard at because everybody says this about me, was 83% vanilla.
Oh, yeah.
Girl.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then right below that was experimentalist and dominant. My dominant came in at 61%, and then submissive was literally right below it.
Okay, so give us your top 5, starting with 1.
Voyeur, switch, vanilla, experimentalist, dominant.
Dominant. Ooh, and which one of those did you most resonate with?
Definitely the experimentalist, just because I am a firm believer that I'll try anything I'm comfortable with once. Even if I'm a little uncomfortable with it, I'll still try it and usually back out pretty quick if I don't like it. That's the thing. I'm not afraid to back out if I don't like it. So I'm okay to try things. And I think that's changed over the last few years, specifically because I felt more comfortable with myself and trusted myself more.
Okay, so keep that in mind because our closing question I have is going to relate to that, okay?
Okay.
My top 5 was, I got 94% switch.
Oh, wow, okay.
Which totally makes sense for me. I am the type of person who I present dominant.
Yeah.
But if you really get to know me, you realize that I have a lot of like feminine
Layers.
and masculine blends that all blend together.
Yep.
But I like the challenge of somebody thinking they can overpower me. I like to allow them to and then take back control.
Ooh. Ooh, hallelujah.
I love that game of pull and push and pull in
So
the
you like the
bedroom.
chase.
And then there was this one incident where this guy, he was like 5'7". I'm 6'5", guys. I invited him to a house party, and I was like, yeah, I like aggressive guys, but I don't think you'll be that. And he grabbed me by my shoulders, pushed me against the wall, and was like, is this aggressive enough for you? Put his hand on the back of my neck. And I was like, my room?
That's a lot of might coming from a little man.
Okay. And that was when I realized, this was in Orlando. So this was like 6 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And this is when I realized, I was like, oh, I like that shit.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because I'm tall. I used to be like a lot bigger, and like somebody overpowering me was like a whole new thing.
See, if he would have done that shit to me, the earrings would have been coming out, bitch, and the elbows would have went flying.
Said,
push me again, bitch. Push me again. Literally.
So Switch was totally on brand for me. So I had Switch. My number 2 was Vanilla. I was 56% submissive, which I thought was interesting.
Wow.
55% voyeur.
Wow.
49% experimentalist.
Wow.
I want to do my 6 because it's interesting. 44 masochist.
Uh-oh.
That's receiving pain or giving pain.
That wasn't even on my list at all.
At all?
At all. Not even in the zeros.
Damn.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's 0%. I just can't read. These lashes, bitch.
The masochist one, when I saw that was my 6, I was like, yeah, that's totally on brand. I fucking love biting, but biting, not just that like nibble, like, oh, I love, not that. I want you to fucking bite me.
Oh my God, like, vampire. Okay, let's go.
Literally bite me. I want to bite you. I want your nails in the back of my, like, in my back. I want, like, dig.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Damn.
It just stimulates this feeling I really enjoy. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe I like being hurt. Oh, that's trauma.
What is the percentage of your number 1?
94%.
And then number 2?
83%.
When does it dip to the 50?
At submissive.
Interesting. It's crazy that your top 5 differ in percentages that much, and mine are pretty close to all each other. That shows that, like you were talking about, you're not super into sex.
Yeah.
It's not super important to you. That's so crazy.
And I will try anything once, especially if it's with somebody I'm connected with. Yeah. So a lot of these other ones are right at 50% because I would do it once or not. Right.
Interesting. Wow.
So yeah, those are our results.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool.
This was actually really exciting, triggering, but exciting. I know there's a lot of possibilities to explore now, though.
Yep. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't know how deep this kink went, and wow.
It definitely goes deep.
Yeah. And the amount of pain questions that were in there, and I don't know, man. I barely have a hard time getting a tattoo and my eyebrows waxed, let alone somebody giving me pain during sex.
Baby, give it to me. Off the top of your head, and you got 5 seconds to answer this one. What is an absolute no-go?
Being restrained. Me being restrained.
Yeah.
Now, it was interesting because there was questions that were like, would you restrain others? And I 100% said yes. And so I don't know why, because like I'm a firm believer, like I would never do something to somebody that I wouldn't want done to me, except for this for some reason.
Okay.
I think that stems from like me getting what I want, because for so long I couldn't date guys and I didn't be able to get what I want. And so now that I have what I want to like have full control over it. It's that control mentality that I have. So it was very interesting.
We'll have to talk about that a little bit offline.
You're right.
Because I want to go deeper, but it ain't for the podcast.
Right. Another episode, bitch.
Yeah. For me, it was daddy, mommy, child question.
Oh, yeah. That would be a hard, close second.
Yeah. I don't want you to be a younger age, because then that's giving me acceptable pedo vibes. And
that's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. And I think I suppressed that because I totally forgot about those questions.
Yeah. I had to put those down because those questions made me really like, I was like, no. No.
And you want to know something? And the person who I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to say their name, but they listen to this podcast, so they're going to hear me say this, but it's okay because they're open about it. But I know somebody who is very into baby play in a sexual way. Right. And like, it's very interesting to hear them talk about, and they're very open about like letting people like not be okay with it. Like they don't mind that I react to it. But it's just very interesting how people see that and are okay with it. And I can't.
I mean, if that person is really comfortable about speaking on it, I'm always down to learn somebody else's perspective.
I'll ask them. I'll ask them. That would be a very interesting topic. You know this person too.
Girl, okay.
They're gonna hate me.
Well, to close out this episode, everybody, I have one final question that we both will answer.
Okay.
What would need to happen in order for you to consider trying one of the things you said absolutely not to?
That's a great question.
Now you get why that question before happened.
Yep. Probably a good 4 or 5 more years of therapy.
Okay.
And a guy who I actually like trust and would probably have to be in a very long-term relationship with. Probably would have to be husband material for me to try those things, just because they are so triggering to me, and I don't like to be triggered because then you have to process, and I don't like to process. So I just like to avoid all that shit.
We gotta face our problems.
Oh, I faced them enough, bitch.
That's fair. Those are all really good things. But
yeah.
I really wanted to ask that question because life is not black and white. It is not.
Nope.
It's not cut and dry.
Or vanilla.
Like, yeah, even with vanilla, we can add a little bit of chocolate, strawberry, add some
Amen.
nuts. Like,
I don't even like vanilla ice cream. That's the funny part.
I like vanilla bean ice cream.
Ooh, okay.
Little spots of vanilla. Anyways, I get into ice cream. For me, it would be understanding the perspective of somebody who does that.
Yeah.
If they have a convincing enough argument from a emotional standpoint, you have to sway me on the emotional side.
Yep. You're so mature. Oh my God.
That's why when you said you knew somebody that is interested, I'm like, yo, I would like to talk to them because my absolute no-go is mommy, daddy, baby, younger, older type thing.
Yeah.
If they can explain to me not just the sexual desire of it, the emotional gain, then I could possibly consider it.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I don't think I would ever, I'm not going to say ever. If I was in a relationship, I probably would know if they liked daddy, mommy, baby stuff.
From the conversations we had, a lot of it comes from the security of like that person providing care and taking care of them in that maternal or fraternal way, which usually means that they didn't have a lot of that growing up. And so they seek that in their partner, but in a very just extreme way. But there are some other conditions or variables that contribute to that too.
Right. I wonder if that would be kind of like dangerous for me because I have like some deep-rooted abandonment issues. And
it's definitely dangerous for me. So
yeah. Imagine me finding that comfort, like a daddy figure in that comfort, and then that person leaves me again.
Hello. Been through that 32 times, bitch.
Oh, okay, we're gonna end the podcast on that note. That made me like really
yeah. Yep. It's something to work through.
Oof, girl. Well, lots of information in this episode.
For real. Y'all probably got to know too much about us.
Hey, that's what happens at Mama's house.
Amen.
We have been so quiet for so long. It's time for us to speak up. So
yeah, come as who you are.
Amen.
Literally.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Final thoughts from me is it was really enjoyable. It allowed me to step outside of my comfort zone. I took it outside of the test and applied it into my real life. I realized some boundaries that I do and do not like on dating sites. And moving forward, I'm going to continue being open-minded, but I'm also going to keep my boundaries in line because that helps with my mental health and my mental fitness. So,
amen. And I would say if you're curious about any of this, this is a great starting ground because there are a lot of questions I would have never thought about that kind of introduced me to some thoughts and some results on my questions. So I would just say go out there, do it. Like it's on the computer, so it's like not everybody's watching you do it or whatever. So just do it and you'll be surprised what you find.
Once again, I'm YoYo-Iziah, and if you would like to take this B.D.S.M test, head over to mamasdraghaus.com and click on our podcast link, and there you will have all the information you need to figure out your kinks.
Okay. How kinky are you?
Yes. And Nikki, where can they follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter, bitch. You can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Girl, we everywhere that there is streaming and everywhere that is a platform except Facebook. But yeah, we got them socials, so follow us up with mamasdraghaus.com too. And we in the metaverse too, bitch, so hit us up there. Okay?
There we go. I was about to plug that if you didn't.
Nice.
I'm YoYo-Iziah.
And I'm Nikki Fuego.
And this is what beach?
Mama's house.
Mama's house.
Girl, you right?
Bye.
Bye.